And we are live. Hi, Billy. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm okay. With shorter hair than you, but okay.
Yep.
I think it's the first time I saw you with long hair, but it's cool.
It's not long.
Yeah,
it's longer. I haven't cut it.
Yes.
My buddy is in lockdown like everybody else. So
sure.
I can't get to him. And then I tried to make a deal with my son. Let's shave our heads right at the beginning of the pandemic. He's got long hair. His hair is like down to here. At first, now it's down mid back. So he said, "No, I'm not shaving my head." I said, "Come on, it'll be fun." And he said, "No, why don't you grow your hair?" So I made a deal with him. I said, "Okay, I'll grow my hair out during the whole pandemic. And then when we come out of this, I'll cut it." He goes, "Okay."
Oh, that's cool. You try at least.
Hey, what link should I share? The YouTube link?
Whatever you want. It's at the same time in YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, cool.
So well, I'm sure most of the people know you, but maybe the more, I don't know, the people that are more into electronic music maybe is not too much aware about you. So can you please just make a quick introduction about yourself?
Sure. I come from the punk rock hardcore scene in New York City. I started a band called Biohazard when I was a kid, and we came up through New York and toured around the world, sold tons of records, and had a great time. Lots of awesome stories. Met a lot of great people and made a lot of great friends. And since then, I became a producer with, my taste ranging from everything from obviously punk rock, metal, and hardcore to electronic, even like jazz and classical and Brazilian music. So I like everything, even country. But I think what grabs me the most is the aggressive music, whether it's rock-driven guitars or, EDM, hardcore.
Everything that has energy.
Yeah, energy, up and down. You know what I mean? Dark and white.
Yes. No, that's great. But I don't know. For me, really with Biohazard. But Biohazard was your first band, or you have some others project before?
No, I had a few other punk rock bands before that.
Okay.
But Biohazard was the first band to break out.
Okay. And can you talk a little bit about that? About your like your first
Sure.
band, for example?
So the first band, I'm trying to find you on Twitter. What's your Twitter? I should have asked you before.
It's the same. Everything is Vigilante Band.
VIGILANT.
Like the Punisher, Vigilante.
Yep.
And band like band.
Cool.
Even if I play alone, but.
Yep. This is like really unorganized on my part. Sorry. So,
it's punk rock, man.
Ask me about.
We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, it's all cool. So Biohazard started in the late '80s. We were little kids, and we were into all different types of things. Pretty much.
My question was before Biohazard.
Oh, before Biohazard, I was into more fucked up things back then.
Yeah.
I remember I had a couple different bands. Probably the biggest band that was held more of my focus and my passion was a band called Museum of Corruption. And that band, I'm still friends with the singer. He's one of my closest friends, Chris Geruzzi. But we were two punk rock kids, and we had a vision, and we did a bunch of shows, never put a record out, but I remember sitting down with the band and telling the band, I'm like, listen, we got to get serious. Like, we got to rehearse more, and we got to get, focus a little bit stronger on the music and the lyrics. And those guys just wanted to do it for fun. Chris was serious, but
Sure.
they all were into school. They wanted to focus on their studies. And I'm like, trust me, man, we're going to make it. I'm going to play CBGBs one day. And the band kind of laughed at me. They're like, yeah, okay, CBGBs, sure. So I'm like, trust me, I'm going to do it. So that band broke up, but Chris is
How old
still
were you on that band? How old were you?
17, I think.
Okay, so you're already
So,
17, ready to conquer the world.
Yeah, of course, everybody is at 17, 18. And my friend Chris went on to school, finished school, got his education, went on to law school, and he eventually became a successful lawyer, then a judge. Now he's a full-time judge in New York. And I still talk to him all the time. He helps me out with issues here and there, but he still has the same punk rock ethic. And I remember he told me a long time ago, we were like just punk rock kids, like hating the world and hating everything that society stood for. And he told me, nobody fucking listens to us. We're in a punk rock band and we're screaming about the things we care about. And he said the easiest way to change things is from the inside. And I was like, fuck that, man. I'm never going to be a part of society the way they want me to be. And he eventually did that, and found out ways to change the things that he didn't like on his terms. And then Speed the Clock, Biohazard came around, and then we ended up on a major label. Our third record came out on Warner Brothers. And then I realized I was part of the system now, but still singing about the things that I wanted to sing about, talk about the things that I wanted to talk about in my way. And so it kind of came to full circle. I just didn't realize it as quick as he realized it. So
yeah, sure. No, but that's amazing. How you become a punk rock? Was the first music that you get attracted to, or I don't know, before you were listening, I don't know, pop or rock? I don't know.
No, I was always into, like, I remember my first record ever I played was from my father's collection, and it was Led Zeppelin 3, I think.
Well,
which is the one with Black Dog on it?
You tell me.
So
I can remember.
I remember he was to leave the house, and his prized possession was his stereo, and we were never allowed to touch it. It was like super valuable and precious to him. So I used to watch him how he turned it on and figured it out one day. So then I watched him, and I was able to turn on the radio. And then the next couple of weeks, I watched him turn on his record player. So the next time he left, I put on Black Dog or When the Levee Breaks. Let me see. So and I cranked it up so fucking loud, and I fell in love with fucking Led Zeppelin, and that was the first. Let me see their discography. That was my first like really time cranking up like rock music, and the only thing that I liked.
Well, I never imagined that. So Led Zeppelin was the first band that really impressed you and inspired to make music.
It was one of the first ones.
Okay.
So I think it was Led Zeppelin 3. Anyways, after that, it wasn't 3. Hold on. think it was just Led Zeppelin, Untitled. So,
What's a very
and
long
then
time, man?
I know
Just
I
in
was a little
case you
kid.
forgot.
It was, I think it was this Led Zeppelin. So from there, I got into Kiss, and as a
Ah,
little kid, it was Led Zeppelin Untitled. Yep,
okay.
it's the fourth album, I guess. Wow, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Black Dog. It was Black Dog that got me in. That was the fucking killer beat. Anyways, from there it was Kiss, and then Kiss was like the first band that I was a fanatic about, and the first band I ever saw was Van Halen, and my friend's father took us to see them. After being like a fanatic for Kiss,
Yeah.
I stumbled onto like new wave and punk rock, and then with punk rock I was like, holy shit, it's not about how well you play, it's about what you're talking about that's more important, and how you portray the passion through your performance and your words and what you're singing about. It was way more important than how well you played, and that really fucking hooked me in. So that was it. I was sold. Punk rock, hardcore, the whole underground movement. It was anti-establishment, and that's when I secretly still loved Led Zeppelin and Van Halen and Kiss, but it was like they never existed. After that, I got a band member, my bass player from Museum of Corruption. His name was Dave. I'll never forget this. He turned me on to Black Sabbath. And then another punk rock kid I was friends with gave me a tape, and it was a band called Septic Death. And Septic Death was it was a band of this guy named Pusshead. Pusshead was the artist that did a lot of early like metal records. He was like a big skate artist. Anyways, so on the other side of this band, Septic Death, was this band logo. Like the kid wrote it, my buddy wrote it, and it had a pentagram for the A. And I was listening to it on a tape player, and I was at work, and the shit flipped over, and it started playing it, and it was like, it was cranked up, and it was so metal. I was like, oh, this sucks. And I went to turn it and to take the tape out and reverse it. But before I could get to it, it started to go to the vocals. And it started out with this high, actually, it was the vocals that made me want to switch. It was this high fucking note. And I went to press stop. And before I could hit stop, it went, and it was Rain and Blood by Slayer. And
Okay.
I didn't press stop. I listened to it, and I was like, holy fuck, what is this? And then I became a Slayer fan. So that's where my roots and foundation, I would say, are punk rock and hardcore. But I got roots that go everywhere else. And with everything from Slayer to the Bad Brains and Beethoven and Bach. And then I got into like the Gothic thing was always there. I loved industrial music like Einstein Neubauten, a band from New York called the Swans.
Yeah, I remember your collaboration with the Krups.
Did some stuff with Doc Krups. Yep. Still friends with them. I just talked to Jürgen last week. And then, so I was really into electronic stuff. So I think being open to different types of music came from studying piano as a little kid. And I had an uncle who played in the band who was like a big influence. My grandfather was a piano player who was a huge influence on me. So I always kept an open mind musically for different types of music. So when Great Shit came around, I remember even into bands like Atari Teenage Riot, who mixed like electronic with hardcore, like
Like
Gabber.
digital
Before
hardcore.
it was Gabber. Yeah. And then it was bands like 808 State, I remember being into Bjork. She was in a band. I can't remember the band. She sang in a band.
Sugar Cubes.
Sugar Cubes, yeah. So when she broke out and did her own thing, I really loved that. And getting into like trip hop from bands like Portishead and
Massive Attack.
Massive Attack.
Mm.
And then bands like Lamb. Remember a band called Lamb?
Yeah.
So I remember going to see them, and I had they only had like maybe one or two records, but they came to New York, and I went to go see them, and they did a live band reproduction of their record. And I remember thinking, this is not going to have the same impact. And it did. It was fucking awesome. And I remember talking to the writer of the band. I don't remember his name, but the guy was a big fan of Biohazard. And we hung out and talked for like 20 minutes. Super cool. I never bumped into him again, but really interesting conversation. But great band, and they pulled it off. The show was fucking killer. So I think, even though my heart and soul, pumps hardcore and punk rock through my veins every day, all day long, I'm really into a lot of different types of stuff. There's a new band I'm working with called Mark and Adam. They're from Scotland, but they live in Chicago. That's like an EDM thing that's pretty fucking awesome. We became friends through doing Powerflo remixes. And I have the new band Viral that I'm working on that's heavily influenced by electronic music. So there's a lot of different styles that I like, and I love incorporating them into like one thing. I think Viral is a really interesting, especially the new stuff we haven't released yet, but it's a great cross section of everything that I love mixed into one band.
Yeah. No, that's great with electronic music. Well, the same as you, I started like and will listen metal and everything, and then you discover electronic music and really open your boundaries, because a guitar will sound like a guitar, but a synthesizer, a sampler, you can endless possibilities.
Yeah,
so,
it's pretty awesome. I'm noticing my tomato plant and my dartboard, on my deck. Can you see it?
Yeah,
I grew that.
It's
take
big.
care of that every day. Yep.
That's great. And
I also have a green. I also have a green thumb.
What's that?
We say in English, it's a green thumb. A green thumb is somebody who's good at taking care of plants.
Okay.
And,
that's cool.
Yeah.
No, I forgot to tell you, you were talking about your grandfather, and I could notice that before your family name, you have some kind of roots in Italy. Your family.
Yep. The family. We come from Italy, from Naples. And
your grandfather or your father?
My grandfather. So
okay.
My father was born here, and my grandfather. My great grandparents came here. So my grandparents were born here, and my father's father, who's also actually my namesake, William Daniel. He's junior. My father's the third, I'm the fourth, and my son is the fifth. So my grandpa, he taught me the amazing world of improvisation. I was taking piano as a little kid, and I remember studying with the mother. There was a husband and wife team, and the mother, I think her name was Mrs. Cooper, I don't remember, but she would smack, I'd be playing, and she would smack my hand with a ruler if I made a mistake. And she would say to me, "You're wasting your mother's money. Your parents work hard for that money. You didn't practice." And I'm like, "Oh, I practice." And I play and make another mistake, and she smacked me in the hand. And then when you graduated, when you were good enough to go to the husband, he was worse, bro. If you fucked up with him, he would smack you in the back of the head.
Fuck.
So you'd be playing piano. If you made a mistake, he'd hit you right in the back of the head. So
You can do that
eventually,
stuff anymore these days, I think.
no, I think it builds character, but that's a different conversation. So
tough love.
What I remember, I remember. I got sick of it and fed up with that way of teaching, and I rebelled. And my grandfather took me under his wing, and my uncle, and both of them. My uncle played it was like a prog. They were similar to like Yes and ELO, ELP, Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Wow.
Like very prog. He was the writer and the keyboard player. So the two of them took me under their wing and helped me really set my musical career off in a better direction.
And you ever got exposed to Italian music, for example?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I love it. Of course. I love it.
Ennio Morricone. No?
Yes. There's a lot. In fact, sorry, there's a helicopter flying overhead.
No problem.
In fact, for BillyBio, my drummer at the beginning and my bass player are from Sardinia. And I even had another guitar player play with me, all from Sardinia. The original drummer who played on the first record, Simo Perini, is also from Italy. So there's a lot of ties I keep to Italy, to the old country.
And you still have some, I don't know, relatives or family there, or no?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
They're all in Naples, and unfortunately, we've never played. I don't think. Yeah, we never played Naples. The furthest south we've gotten is Rome.
Okay.
And I love France, but we play France much more than we play Italy.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
And with all the thing, because during these crazy times with COVID and everything, Italy was one of the first countries that was really, hit by the virus. You were kind of, I don't know, scared by the people there, or you have?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. We got some pretty crazy messages. My musician friends in Sardinia, they were filling me in on what was going on, but it was crazy, man. And then when things got bad here, Italy got better, and then it started getting bad in France and the rest of Europe. But then Italy just got better. I don't even know. I know that they're fail in comparison to America, but right now America is probably by far the worst. New York City has more cases than any other country.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. There are different cultures, I think, because I don't know, in Italy, for me, well, the healthcare system, you can agree or not, is kind of better than United States. I mean, even if people that don't have money, they have access to good healthcare. The problem with Italy was the infections was too fast, but they have the means to take care of all people. I don't know if in America, if you are broke and you have COVID, I don't know how you will.
Yeah, with in the States, I mean, normally we don't have socialized medicine here. Which Obama tried to do it, but it didn't work out so well. But with the thing like the pandemic, if you're sick, you get hospital care. They don't refuse you if you don't have insurance, which is a great thing. But if you look at the statistics, like America, like per capita, we've had 1.6 million cases. And out of that 1.6 million cases, we have 95,000 deaths, which is pretty staggering. But if you compare it to Italy, Italy has a third of the amount of deaths. There's 32,000 deaths, but they only have 228,000
Mm.
cases of the virus. So the ratio of
Yeah,
deaths
the ratio
is nobody. I mean, the healthcare for the pandemic
Mm.
is unparalleled in America. Like more people are surviving it in America than any other country by far.
and that's
And
great. That's great
it
news.
is great. It's great news, but it's sad all around. I mean, I don't want friends in France or Italy or any part of the world to have to go through this.
Yes.
We've had a lot of friends, that had it. One of our close friends in Brazil. Brazil's doing horribly right now. But you know what?
Mm.
Everybody deals with this. Let's talk about other things. Let's not talk about the same shit everybody has to deal with every day.
Yeah, of course.
Let's keep it entertaining and let people escape some of the bullshit.
Yes. No. Well, continue my what I was asking before. The beginnings of Biohazard.
Yep.
You want to go there?
Sure. So we were young kids coming up from New York. We were into a lot of fucking crazy things. Normal shit for a kid in New York, I think. And we found ourselves suddenly more interested in making music together than to be on a more negative path for ourselves from drugs and crime and shit like that.
Mm.
And I would say for sure the music saved us. Biohazard saved us. If it wasn't for the band, we would have been dead or in jail, 100%. So we did our first record and moved on, and we just kept doing it. And I've had the same philosophy since then. Whatever I do, I jump in 100%, and I keep going. I put my head down and plow forward.
Mm.
That's it.
No, that's really. I don't know. I remember when Biohazard started, and you know when you can notice if a band just have a kind of a fake appearance, because everyone wants to, especially if you are in a hardcore scene, they want to look tough, they want to look bad, they want to look even a little bit ghetto. But there are some people that you say no, you don't believe it. Well, when you saw Biohazard, well, like fuck, this shit is real. You know, when you start and all the clips tell from the hard side, well, like what the fuck, you were scary, dude. Well, I think you're still scary.
The funny thing is about that is, we are a product of our past. Everything that we've been through forms us into the person that we are today,
Mm.
And I get a lot of people, they see me with my kids, and they're like, oh, you're such a nice, good person. And I am.
Yeah.
I was a good person always. I grew up I had great upbringing with my parents. My mother died as a kid, but she raised me well. My father raised me well, did the best they could under the circumstances. But the things that I've seen and the things I've been through caused me to do and grow in a certain way. So what they know me as from the past is a part of me, but I've evolved as a person.
Sure.
And the funny thing is, I get a lot of people, especially now, like I help teach jiu-jitsu for the little kids. And cool. I'm there with, playing with young kids, teaching them jiu-jitsu. And I'm if you watch my videos from Biohazard era, I wouldn't want me teaching kids, but it's a part of me. And a lot of the parents, a lot of people I meet that know me as who I am now, they make comments about that. They're like, your image on stage and your image on the internet is different than your image in person, but they're both real. I didn't fake it then. I don't fake it when I'm on stage, and I don't fake it when I smile to your face and I tell you how I feel. I'm real. If you cross me, you'll see the other side of my personality. And if you smile to me, you'll see another side of my personality that's there. So I'm a collection of all these experiences into one. The dominant one is my most recent. Over the past 10, 15 years, I'm a much more centered, more of a worldly person that I'm proud of, you know?
What do
I
you
don't have a
think
drug.
that what do you think that made you change, like turn the a little?
A lot of things, bro. You know, I watched, I mean, you could start with drugs back in the day. I watched close friends OD, go to jail, get busted, throw their lives away. And suddenly I found myself not as interested in partying so much, you know? Sorry,
Sure.
my computer went to sleep. So that's one thing. And then I got more, there was more of a, I got more of a high making music than I did doing drugs and partying. So,
Sure.
you know, now I don't have a drug habit. I don't have a drug issue anymore. I used to. I don't have an alcohol issue. I don't drink. So my personal choices I found were better for me to be able to function the way I want to function in the world that I choose to live.
Sure.
And I don't judge other people. Half of my friends, you know, some of my best friends smoke weed all day long. It's not my thing, you know, but
Sure.
that's cool and that's okay.
Yeah.
I fight for that freedom to be able to live your life. And if you choose to believe in something, if you choose to believe in something different than I believe in, I think that makes the world a better place, not a bad place, because if we all thought the same, it'd be a fucking boring world, bro.
Sure. And I was wondering during the beginning of you into music and Biohazard, you ever cross a straight edge band like
Of
you do
course,
today? So
of course. We
Gorilla Biscuit.
just toured with Gorilla Biscuits, and it was awesome.
No, but I was asking before, when at the beginning with Biohazard, because you were like a kind of crossover, but still part of the hardcore community. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I was a big fan. Out of all the members of Biohazard, I was the kid who came from hardcore that went into metal. And the other guys went into metal and they crossed over into hardcore.
Okay.
So we kind of turned each other. I mean, I remember, anyways, there's so many stories about that time. But I was a big fan of bands like Token Entry and Gorilla Biscuits, and Warzone, especially Warzone. And those were predominantly, you know, straight edge bands. Minor Threat was one of my all-time favorite bands. So there was a different eras. At the beginning of Biohazard, we were still on, you know, still partying a lot. And then we got rid of the drug problems, got rid of the alcohol problems. And we were kind of straight edge, but we didn't say we were straight edge. It was more like
Really?
we had to be straight edge, you know, because of our issues, not because of, you know, anything else. So we never really waved the flag of being a straight edge band. But when we were touring with, you know, bands like Pantera and Slayer and Metallica, we were drug free, mostly alcohol free, and but we got really bigger in the metal world. And once we were bigger in the metal world, we were doing those big tours. And so we didn't get a chance to tour with bands like, you know, Warzone or, you know, the straight edge bands like Gorilla Biscuits, who I loved. And that's why I just toured with them on the last tour I did was in January, February. And it was with Gorilla Biscuits, BillyBio, Agnostic Front, H2O, another straight edge band. And it was a great, awesome tour. Wisdom and Chains, another straight edge band. And that we had such an awesome time. We came home and all of us were sick. Then the pandemic happened and we were like, holy fuck. And the world blew up in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
So crossing paths with those bands, I looked up to them and loved them and had nothing but respect. And I love, especially to this day, that they all kept their integrity and didn't sell out.
It's amazing. I just talked with Purcell some weeks ago, and it's amazing. He have like more than 50, and you look at him and like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. But I understand that maybe, especially if you are in a metal environment, like you were saying, touring with Pantera, Slayer, the metal scene is just drink and get fucked up. So I think it's really kind of, I don't know, kind of difficult to escape that. But in the hardcore scene, you find more and more people that bands that are straight edge, or I don't know, they I don't know. I think that the two scenes are really kind of different. Metal scene and hardcore scene. I don't know if you can agree with me.
Yeah, it's totally different, bro. The metal world was about who gives a fuck, just have a good time, very nihilistic, and the hardcore was all about each other. It was about the family, the scene, and when somebody was nihilistic and selfish and out for self, they were kind of outcasted from the hardcore scene. It didn't fit. I think with bands like Earth Crisis, when they came around, they brought metal into the hardcore scene with a straight edge movement that is new. It wasn't punk rock or hardcore. It was metal.
Yeah.
And they fucking kicked ass. And they were straight edge. So it was like a different mixture of everything. Usually like heavier music came with, being hungover and on drugs and drinking.
Yes.
And fully like not really looking out for yourself. It didn't fit being in shape and healthy. It was more like you smoked cigarettes, you drank beer and whiskey, and you smoked cigarettes on stage. That was like the thing.
Of course. I don't know if you saw a recent documentary of Murder on the Front Row. It's like the story of the Bay Area, like with Metallica.
Oh, I heard about that.
Metallica stuff. And every day was like that, everyone with a beer and getting fucked up and killing beating posters. Like, what the fuck?
That's how it was, bro, in the late 80s. Everybody, that's how it was. That's what you did.
Yes.
And even in the New York hardcore scene, it wasn't all straight edge. I'd say a minority part of the scene was straight edge. Very small minority. So the majority of the New York hardcore scene was big. We were big partiers and everything,
But do you think being exposed to a straight edge band help you to have a little perspective? Like, I don't need to get fucked up to, play my music.
Of course. I mean, the Minor Threat was a huge influence of mine when I was a young skater. And then I remember I was in love with this girl. I had a big giant crush on her. I don't know if it was love, but her name was Amy Ottinger. And Amy told me that she told me, because your whole life you grow up with your parents and counselors and people at school telling you, don't do drugs because they're bad for you. They're really bad. Stay away from drugs. That's
a real idea.
Yeah. But this one girl told me, don't ever do heroin because it's the best drug in the world. So that rang so loud in my ears. And it was a girl that I loved. I had a big giant crush on this girl. So when it came time for me to do heroin, I said, fuck yeah, let's do it. And that was the beginning of a very bad spot for me. But eventually I kicked it and got my shit together. Hello. So that's it.
No, that's amazing. You have any memories of that tour with Pantera? Because when you saw this video, it's like, what the fuck? How can they drink that much and still play?
It was, Lemmy said the best thing. Your body adapts to whatever you put it through.
Sure.
And he lived a great, awesome life. And he smoked and drank and did what he wanted to do up until the end, almost the end. So I remember the Pantera tours. We did like, I think 3 or 4 tours with them. And we were with them on the last show they played together. It was in Japan at Beast Feast, a place called Beast Feast. It was a crazy, crazy weekend. I remember I got arrested and
What?
thrown in jail, and it was a fucking nightmare. And I got, it was bad. So the partying with Pantera was unlike anything else. Any other band, nobody partied like those dudes. We would go. It was like the day started. You woke up. Maybe had an hour of free time, and then you'd bump into somebody in the hallway. It was usually Dimebag, usually Dime, and he'd say, "Come on, you want to do a shot?" And you'd go in and you'd start doing shots.
What? At what time?
So the time is relevant. Remember, because rock and roll time's different. When you go to sleep at 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon is your morning. So
of course.
If you start drinking at 3 o'clock, that's like 7 o'clock in the morning for a normal person.
Of course.
Because your day shifts. You go to sleep at 6 in the morning, and you wake up at 2 in the afternoon. So that was like a normal thing, and that just started the day off. But it was constantly just doing shots and shots and shots. They had a drink called the Blacktooth Grin, which I'm sure a lot of people know about. They mixed Coke with Seagram 7, and it was called Blacktooth Grin because there's so much sugar, and after drinking a lot, it would rot your teeth, and you'd end up, your front tooth would go missing, and you'd have a black tooth grin. Black face and a smile.
What the fuck? Okay.
So that was that. It is fucking cold, man. The wind.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not in Los Angeles?
Yeah, I am. There we go. Now in the sun.
Oh, okay. Cool. And with the Slayer, was kind of the same, or there were more?
No, Slayer was nowhere near that. I think Slayer went through that phase of their career when they were younger. So we did a lot of tours with Slayer too, and by the time we toured with them, they never partied. They were more interested in going. Kerry King, all he wanted to do was go to TGIF and play a sports trivia game. That's it.
What?
Wasn't into partying.
Okay.
Drink a little beer, but they partied a lot when they were younger, and I think they got burnt out. You know.
Oh, okay. No, but also their show were kind of very demanding, and I think it's kind of easier to party when you have, I don't know, like 5 dates in a row or 10 days, 10 gigs in a row. But then you have 20, 30. You have to start to take care of yourself, I think.
Well, history shows that you don't have to take care of yourself. You should take care of yourself. I take care of myself, but on tour, like I said, Lenny said it best. Your body adapts to whatever you put it through.
Yeah, of course.
And there's been many tours we were on where, like, you party so much they bring a doctor out on tour, and the doctor comes. They bring a doctor.
Okay.
And the doctor comes and he gives you a shot of vitamins, and you get all this energy, and you go kick ass on show, and then you feel great coming off stage, and then you do it all again, and you party again, and you don't stay out until 6 in the morning, and that's a very common thing.
All right. And there was not a moment when you were playing and say, I can do this. I need to go to lay down. I don't know, anytime that you want to crash. Because
I mean, I don't remember ever going through a phase where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to just, stop. It was always more like, okay, tonight we're going to go out. I'm going to go lay down and get some rest so we can rest up for the show and then go out after the show. It was more things like that.
Ah, okay. So you You kind of figured out some strategies to keep partying, but
Yeah, yeah,
keep doing
yeah.
because
And then you go and you go and you go. And then when you can't go, you sleep. You know, and
sure,
you don't party for a day. You just stay sleeping all day. It's pretty common.
sure. No, I can guess that because every time I saw you, even the last time here in my city, you have so much energy. It's like you are like the rabbit from Duracell, you know, like you have endless energy. So I I don't know. I can picture. I have been in tour, and picture myself party every day and giving that amount of energy is amazing. But you were always very in good shape, you know. How
Well,
you were always taking care of, I don't know, go to the gym or do some workouts or not
yeah,
really.
my health is important to me.
Mm,
The well-being of my body and my mind is important to me. Always has been. And I think that having that mindset has enabled me to do what I do for so long with the
mm,
same energy. And I sometimes I feel like I have more energy now than I did 10 years ago, 15 years ago. When I'm on stage, I just posted a picture about it, but I love the energy that I get from the crowd, and it gives me more energy. So
mm.
that's where I get it. I think enjoying where you are helps for me, at least. Loving being on stage makes it a lot easier for me to be on stage. When
Mm.
you don't want to be in a situation, it's really hard to fake it.
Sure. No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how old are you, but you still have the same energy. It's crazy, and the jumping and everything. It's like I don't know
Yeah.
how you do. Do you, do you think when you discovered jiu-jitsu was well like you were
I was
starting?
young. I was young. It was right after the first UFC happened. So that's another thing that I've always had. Studying martial arts and specifically jujitsu
Mm,
has also given me a reason that's I really like um, getting up in the morning and going to train. And if you stay up until 6 in the morning, it's very hard to do that.
that's a good strategy, a good motivation to. And you are what belt?
Black belt.
Black belt.
Yeah.
Cool. And but you just do it for I don't know for training or you never try to go and fight in the UFC or something like that. Not
No,
now. Before.
I
I don't
fought
know.
a lot in the street, and
What?
I never had a chance, never had a desire or the opportunity to fight in a ring. Um, I remember I challenged one person once to a fight for charity, but that's a whole different story. But
Really?
I think the having something to focus on that's
Mm,
different from your normal shit is important.
yeah.
It helps you be better at what you do and what you thrive at,
Mm,
and it gives you perspective in life. Sometimes we tend to, if you jump into something and that's all you have in your life, and then something doesn't work out with that, it's a life altering disaster. But
yeah.
if you have different things and you diversify yourself,
Mm,
and you're not something isn't working, then you work on something else.
mm.
It's a little bit safer for you as a person, safer
And
for your well-being, I think.
yeah, no, I completely agree. It's like put the eggs in the same basket. It's not a good idea.
Exactly.
you're you're getting tan.
Yeah.
No, it's great. And Powerflo. How that happened? Because that's like a super mega group.
A super mega group. It's not, man. We're just fucking probably like Christian, Sen, and I are probably three of the most down to earth rock and rollers out there. Like we're not about flash. We're not about egos. We just like doing what we do. That's it.
Mm.
So the band was put together. I was working on a Biohazard record and came home from New York around Christmas time in 2000 and I think 2017 or 16, and
Okay.
2016. And Sen Dog and Roy came to meet me at the studio, and they played me some songs, and they told me they wanted to work with me. They wanted me to produce the music in the band, and they kind of asked me to be in the band, and I was like, I want to do a solo record, and I have Biohazard. I want to produce your record. I'll produce you guys, and I'll write some songs for you. So I would write a bunch of songs, and Sen Dog would come to the studio at night on Sunday night after football, and we did it every Sunday for like, it felt like a year. And then when we had a bunch of songs, we went in the studio, and we were recording the record. Make a long story short, we finished it, and we turn around and we listen to the record. We're all having a good time. And our drummer, Fernando, who's a buddy of mine from Brazil, he said to me, "Hey, bro, what do you think? We should make this a band, bro. It's fucking awesome. We all have fun. We get along." And I looked around, and everybody's having a great time. And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And then Sen Dog was like, "Hey, what about this name, Powerflo?" We're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." It wasn't a big deal. But I remember finishing the record before the band was really a band. We didn't even have a name when we finished the record. So things happened pretty quick. Our manager, Deb, got us a record deal. The record came out later that year, like I think June of 2017. Or June 2016, I think. Sorry, I'm a year late. June 2016. We toured all year in the States, toured through the winter, toured through the summer, and then we went to Europe in 2018. And then I came home and released my solo record in the fall of 2018. And that's under BillyBio.
Mm.
So,
there's any plans for doing another record? Or?
Yep, we have. I'm almost done the new Powerflo record. I just talked to Sen and Christian yesterday, and it's a fucking kick-ass record. It's heavier, faster, more aggressive, and I would say pretty much just more Powerflo on this record.
That's
it's
great.
Like everything that we liked about the first record, we've magnified and put it on this record.
Well, if you need any remix, I'm right here. But
fuck yeah. Your remixes are dope, bro.
Oh, thank
They're
you.
Really awesome.
But Sen Dog is really like a fan of metal, or he just like I don't know. For me, it's hard to picture.
Bro, he is more metal than hip hop. He loves hip hop, but he grew up in a place called Southgate, and in the same school was his best friend Dave Lombardo from Slayer. They were two Cubans, and they grew up together. And they also came from Southgate with Slayer. So he said, I remember he told me a story how Slayer, they played the quad in school, which is the cafeteria, outdoor cafeteria, when they were high school. It was one of their first shows. Yeah, crazy. And then, so I remember when we were still first working on Powerflo, I wanted to make it more slower and more groovy, and Sen wanted it more fast and aggressive, like Biohazard. So it was. It seemed like every writing session, Sen was like, "No, I like it like that, more fast, like your music. And then I would be like, no, let's keep it groovy and bouncy like your music. So that was like the arguments back and forth, not arguments, but like the discussions, the creative energy that we would flow back and forth. And in the end, we came up with what Powerflo is. A little bit of both.
Amazing. Yeah. No, it's exactly that. And no, it's a great record, and I'm really happy to be able to make a remix for you guys. And no, for me, it's a great combination between. Well, I don't know. It's like a perfect mix. But BillyBio, how long you were having this song in your head? How long you wanted to do a solo album?
I think that I was, even in the early days of Biohazard, even my first band I mentioned earlier, Museum of Corruption.
Yeah,
I've always been a writer. I write music all the time, all day long, every day, 365 days a year. There's something going on in my head. And I love bands. I love being in a band. I love being in a band with Christian and Sendog. I love being in a band with Biohazard, with Danny and Bobby, and the times that we were with Evan. But I love overall creating music, creating something out of nothing, and having that last forever. And so in a way, I've always been a solo artist. It just, if I'm with a group of guys in a band called Biohazard, then I write songs for Biohazard. And if I'm with Powerflo, it's Powerflo. And now with BillyBio, I have a new solo career. So the songs that I write, and if there's nobody playing with me, it's a BillyBio song. So I have that record that's going to come out first, probably before the next Powerflo record. But it's almost done, and it's a great record. Really psyched about it. It's
great.
It's a continuation of the last record.
And I saw you during your tour. You were playing with Radias.
Yep, Rob's a great friend. Yeah, good, phenomenal bass player.
Yeah, we came from the same country, actually, Chile. I don't know.
You're from Chile?
Yeah.
I thought you're from France.
No, I live in France. It's different.
That's cool. You have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tomaraya also, but he left Chile when he was like 3 years old.
Who?
The singer of Slayer.
Oh yeah, he's from Chile too. Yeah, Tom Araya.
Yeah. No, that's great. And well, I hope the thing get better and I can see you on tour soon.
Me too, bro. You should. Everybody listening, there's a foundation called Save Our Clubs. I posted it. It's on my social media. If you go to my link in any of my pages, it's Linktree/BillyBiohazard. You can get a link there. But it's a great organization, a nonprofit organization that helps bring back the live venues quicker. Because some of the clubs that we all play, they can't survive being closed for 6 months. And that's going to be a very tough thing for all of us who love to tour, and two, we all love going to see bands. So this organization helps with both.
No, that's great. Well, I know you're a very busy guy. I don't know if you you want to keep going or you have to go to write another album.
I do want to keep talking. I'll sit here all day. It's a beautiful day out, but I do have to go to the studio.
Because there's a specific question I want to ask you. Because one of my favorite songs of Biohazard is Punishment. But I remember the video. I was like, who the fuck is these people? It's like there were bands, there were friends, there were people that was extras. Like
There was no there was no extras in that video. It's all just our friends.
you have you had a bunch of friends. No, but what kind of friends were like from other bands, from I don't know.
Yeah, there was Isaac, Hoya. I think Freddie was in there. Saab, Kev One, Jorge, Minus. Who else?
That was an amazing video, and I'm a
Yeah.
big I'm a,
Like
I'm a-
seven bands from New York I just mentioned.
because also the question is like I'm a big comic book fan and the sampler of the Punisher. Why? Why you decided to use that sampler of that specific movie?
Well, it was a great movie when we were kids. It seemed very poignant for the song matter and the subject matter. And we
But
just used
neither of you were aware that was a comic book character.
of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But none of you was a comic book fan.
I think we're everybody who's not a comic book fan. But
I
as
don't
far
know.
as a fanatic, Evan used to collect them. I collected them for a little bit as a kid, but I was never that really crazy about it.
Okay.
But I liked them. I would read them when I had them. But yeah, Punisher. It just seemed to fit. I remember.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I remember the quote. I remember working on the sound clip, and I used a computer program. I think it was called SoundForge.
Yeah,
And
it was from
no,
it
sorry.
was- no,
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
that was from Sonic Foundry.
Yeah, I think it was Sound Tools maybe, but eventually it was 2 tracks, a program with 2 tracks editing capabilities, and I edited the intros for the record and put all the intros in another studio, but it took forever, dude. I remember making crossfades and edit, and then I'd have to sit there while the computer rendered the crossfades. It's so long. And that program eventually became Pro Tools, and at the time, they had only stereo, 2 channels.
Yeah.
So, and then they became, I think, 4 channels, but it was crazy, man. That was the first record.
And it made you
Sorry.
discover a little of the technology.
Second record, Urban Discipline. What?
It helped you to discover a little of the digital world, of things. Like yeah.
It was my first taste of the digital world. I worked in studios as a kid, in a lot of analog studios, and I went to school for it. And then I started buying digital gear and analog gear. So as the music world changed from analog to digital, I knew both, and I use both in my studio and in my production, which gives me this part of my sound. But I think I love having the best of both worlds. The warmth of the analog with the versatility and ease of use that the digital world has.
And what platform you use to produce these
Pro
days?
Tools. Pro Tools.
Pro Tools all the way?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's cool. But you also use some analog preamps, I guess.
Yes. We have API, Neve.
They're really expensive.
Portico, preamps, a bunch of tube compression, distressors. That's all on the front end.
Mm.
and then I have it's a Series 70 Trident Malcolm Toft board.
That's really impressive.
Pretty,
That's a lot of money. And
yeah.
when we were talking about Powerflo, I guess you knew Sean from your old clips with your old collaboration with Biohazard, like it's how it is. No,
It's how it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like that that you meet I don't know, Sean from Cypress Hill.
so, we met. We were fans of Cypress Hill on their first record. I remember that
Really?
record came out. We were like, wow, this shit is fucking dope. It was an awesome record. Then they got big. We met them in LA. Sen came down to work with us in the studio on How It Is, and he did a great job. And we became friends, and we're friends ever since.
But wait a little. You invite him just like, hey, you want to sing a song with us, or was like, I don't know how that happened. Because it
Just
was
like
like
that.
kind of new. Was kind of new at the time.
It was just like that. Sen, I think Sen respected what we were doing, and we were big fans of Cypress Hill, and he came down, and that's it.
That's it.
Sang him the song. Yeah.
Wow. No, I guess that was a hit. Well, it still is every time you play it. And Onyx.
So Onyx, they're from New York, so that was a
Mm.
lot easier. They asked me to do a remix for a song called Slam, and I did that, and the band loved it, the management loved it, so they did a video, and then in that video we became friends closer with Onyx, and then they came out with a movie called Judgment Night, and they asked us if we wanted to do a song together, a collaboration. So we did that, and we've been friends ever since. We had Sticky Fingers on a couple songs since then.
That's great.
Yep.
And I don't know, you were always connected with the rap scene, hip hop scene, or
Yeah, dude. I used to, like I said, I went to school for audio engineering, and I came out, and the only studios that were hiring were hip hop studios. So I worked at a big famous hip hop studio in Queens. It was called Powerplay Studios, I think, but it was KRS-One came from there, Miss Melody, Boogie Down Productions, a lot of great classic hip hop stuff came from there, and it was great to work there. And then I eventually got into Chung King, in a studio in our neighborhood in Brooklyn called not Ace 11, Pink Pussycat, no. Fast Lane Studios. It's called Fast Lane Studios. I forgot the name for a second. And that was pretty cool. I used to work there too.
Oh, that's great. And you're still listen rap, hip hop, or?
Of course, love it.
But you like the new stuff, like trap.
Yep. If it's good, I love it.
Because I remember I saw a video of Post Malone. Listen, Biohazard, like.
Yep. Going crazy, right?
Yeah, but.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
What you do? You never tried. You are in touch with him. You ever try to get in touch with him, or not at all?
No, I want to. When he plays, I want to go see him.
Because he made that collaboration with Ozzy Osbourne, so he liked metal. That's
what I hear. He's a metalhead.
So maybe Powerflo plus Post Malone. That could be. That could be. Wow. That could. That could explode because, well, that's kind of weird because his kind of trap is really melodic. I'm a but inside, I think he have a very like metal root. So
Yeah,
I
100%, bro.
yeah
Yeah.
that I think that could be a great collaboration. But I know it's not that easy. You know, you have to talk with the manager and everything these days so complicated sometimes to get in touch. Before, like you were saying, um, you meet Shandog, you invited to a studio, he records something. But these days, like, yeah, talk with the manager of the manager of the manager.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
There's so much bureaucracy enough in the world. We don't need
yeah,
to bring that into the art world.
yeah. I completely agree. But that could be that could be that could be cool. So, Billy,
Yep.
we I already took 1 hour of your time. Um, I really thank you for doing this.
Of course,
And
my friend. Thank you for your time, bro. It was a good conversation.
yeah, no, I hope I can see you soon on the road, or well, if you
Yeah,
ever
I
need
hope so. I hope so too,
anything.
man.
Yeah. This is crazy. This this is like a movie.
Yeah.
Really like a movie. But we I think the things are getting better slowly, but
Yep.
I yeah, but I think will be good, and wish you the best with Powerflo. By Biohazard, you still composing for Biohazard, or
No, we're not doing anything, but we're still a band. I was just talking to Danny, the drummer, yesterday.
okay,
So we're still friends, still cool. Just we're not doing anything.
okay, okay, man.
All right, my friend. Thank you for your time, bro. I appreciate you.
No, thank you,
And
and
everybody,
everyone.
if you're watching this, go check me out. Billy Biohazard everywhere
Yes,
on social media. Um, and send me a message. Let me know what you thought of the interview. Let me know what you think of my music. Let me know which one of my projects you feel more. And I'll turn you on to everything else. Everybody be safe.
see you,
Peace.
bro.
Thank you, brother.